Greetings to you all and welcome to today's webinar for the Molymet Rhenium Challenge brought to you by 9 Sigma. My name is Brandy Heflin from 9 Sigma and I will be your host and moderator today. Please note that this webinar is being recorded. The recording and transcription will be made available on the Molymet Rhenium Challenge page on NineSights. Let's review our agenda for today. After I introduce our speakers, they will discuss the project in greater depth, including Molymet's initiatives and the topic for the challenge. Then we'll take some time addressing your questions during a live Q&A session, followed by a brief summary of project information, including how to request additional information or assistance. This is a reminder that all participants are in listen-only mode. As we proceed through today's presentation, please feel free to ask questions at any time using the questions box through your GoToWebinar control panel, located near the top right of your screen. We'll keep track of your questions and respond to them during the Q&A portion of the webinar. Should you need any information or assistance outside of today's webinar, please contact the 9 Sigma Provider Help Desk at phd@ninesigma.com. At this time, I'd like to introduce our panelists for today's webinar. We'd like to welcome Mario Lama and Edgardo Cisternas from Molymet. And from 9 Sigma, we have Oliver Worsfold from 9 Sigma Europe. Everyone, thank you all for joining us today. Before we have our panelists discuss the technical information for our challenge, we have a brief recorded message from the Molymet CEO, Mr. John Grail.
Welcome to this initiative that we have named the ReImagine Challenge. We invite you to reimagine and redefine the use of rhenium to generate a positive impact on the development of new and cleaner energies. I am grateful to all who are present today, to our collaborators who have made this initiative possible, to the ReImagine Challenge jury who have shared with us their knowledge and experience for the benefit of this noble initiative. At Molymet, we believe in corporate responsibility and in a long-term vision to build a better planet for future generations. We believe to start today to take preventative measures to slow climate change and begin with new proposals so that world economies can transition to clean systems that are low in carbon emissions. This challenge sums up our commitment to sustainability. We seek to add value and contribute to the evolution of humanity through the creation of products that are developed by people that care about well-being of the planet. Thank you very much. And now I will leave you with Ms. Brandy Heflin, 9 Sigma Associate Program Manager.
Next, we'd like to welcome our special guest, Dr. Irwin Plat, the Director of H2 Chile, the Chilean Hydrogen Association, and the Green Hydrogen Ambassador for Chile. He is a member of the judging panel for the contest, and he will speak about green hydrogen as an energy vector for decarbonization. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Plat.
Thank you, Brandy. First of all, I want to say a warm welcome to the over 100 participants today. Green hydrogen is a pivotal energy vector for decarbonization. The worldwide energy demand and energy generation have different time variabilities and occur in different places. So the installed power capacities is different from the generated energy in a time period or geographical zone. The differences are to be compensated by energy storage. How do we store the energy today? Well, you know that the energy is not created nor destroyed, it's just transformed from one type to another with some entropy losses. So today we store the energy in large oil tanks, in high coal piles, in huge gas tanks, and then we burn it. We burn these fossil fuels, releasing CO2. And the question is how to use now renewable electricity. The question how we store electricity today. And according to the International Energy Organization, 91% is stored as pump hydro storage, 5% electrochemically in batteries, and 3% in heat, as the just inaugurated Cerro Dominador CSP plant in Chile. Where is the hydrogen we are talking about today? Well, green hydrogen has been around for thousands of millions of years. And who is doing that? Well, the vegetables with photosynthesis. The plants just take water and energy in form of light and separate the water in hydrogen and oxygen. They release the oxygen and they use the hydrogen for storing the energy. Well, with electrolyzer, we will do exactly the same. We use renewable energy and split the water in hydrogen and oxygen, and we'll store this hydrogen. And when we turn around this process in fuel cells, we will use our green hydrogen with oxygen and produce renewable energy. Now, what are we talking about in the world today? This business of producing hydrogen is only today for chemical processes, nothing else. And it is a business about 70 million tons a year of hydrogen, of course not green, and it's a business that is the order of magnitude of $140 billion a year. But this will not stay that way, and the Hydrogen Council is saying that the hydrogen demand will increase tenfold by 2050. That means we will go from whatever now this 70 million tons to 650 million tons. And if you just multiply that at $1.5 per kilogram, we will talk about $1 trillion a year. Why is this possible? Very simple, because our electricity prices are coming down. And if I just take one example in Chile, in 2012, so not very long ago, we had public tender prices of $130 per megawatt hour. And the last public tender in Chile was 32. So we were very happy to go down to $32 per megawatt. But can it go any better? Yes, it can. Just a few weeks ago, there was a public tender in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they arrived to $10.4 megawatt hour. With these prices of electricity, now hydrogen can compete with fossil fuels. So the transition towards decarbonization can be enabled by the green hydrogen, offering a clean energy and storage and transportation. Low cost and high efficiency of green hydrogen electrolyzers and fuel cells will depend on modern catalysts. We have to find more cost-efficient catalysts for hydrogen. And my question to all of you is, what about Rhenium? Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Plat. And now, Mario will tell us more about Molymet and introduce their innovation challenge. Mario?
Thank you, Randy. And on behalf of Molymet, our sincere thanks. First, to the team at NineSights for helping us to present our challenge. And second, it is really good to see all of you who have joined us from around the world. Looking through the list, we can see you are from Japan, Spain, the UK, the US, Chile, Germany. Wow. We are really encouraged by your interest in Rhenium. And so to each one of you, a warm welcome to our webinar. Next, Randy, please. Let's kick off then with a brief introduction to Molymet. Molymet is a Chilean company with production plant and offices in 8 countries. Molymet was created in 1975 and we have more than 40 years experience in molybdenum. We have 35% market share of global molybdenum processing with a total capacity of 207 million pounds a year at our 5 plants. In terms of Rhenium, keep in mind that the largest Rhenium reserves in the world are located in Chile, and Molymet has 70% share of the global Rhenium processing. Next. Molymet is committed to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, but deeper than that, sustainability is in our DNA. It guides not only our decision-making, not only the way we operate, but also the way we think about everything we do every day. This is clearly expressed in our company purpose. Worldwide, we have 1,300 direct employees and around 3,500 indirect employees working every day to develop technology solutions that makes people's lives better. As the leading supplier of Rhenium, we, as Molymet, are convinced that we need to lead the development of Rhenium in the move towards renewable energy technologies. Molymet also understands that sustainable supply of this rare metal is crucial for researchers and users. And by ensuring a long-term and steady supply of Rhenium, we can play our part supporting new end users. So that's the background, and you can find more detailed information about the Rhenium Market Development Program on the Molymet website. Next, Randy. Now, let's take a look at the challenge. The ReImagine challenge is the first contest in the development of green hydrogen using Rhenium. Here, Molymet, in collaboration with NineSights, is inviting participants to rethink and reimagine Rhenium in green hydrogen production and fuel cells. Now, as you will be aware, the search for alternative, competitive, and sustainable catalyst materials is a crucial line for research and development. Already, several efforts are underway to address the cost challenge, and not only reducing device cost, but also improving efficiency and extending service life. We want to support this effort, and we believe that collaboration is the way to do it. So the goal of our ReImagine challenge is to look for innovative ways to take advantage of the electrochemical properties of Rhenium, to incorporate Rhenium in novel catalyst formation that, one, allow efficient and economic production of hydrogen from renewable sources, and two, the use of hydrogen in fuel cells that make green hydrogen as a viable carbon-free chemical and energy vector. We will consider proposal for either one of these goals. Next. So why this challenge? We all understand the urgency to decarbonize our industry and energy system to tackle the climate change. But this is a huge task because the energy matrix relies on fossil fuel burning, and this has the highest greenhouse gas incidence. So hydrogen generation is an alternative to the transition to clean, low carbon energy systems. In this sense, Electrolysis is a promising source of hydrogen, but three major challenges still need to be overcome. One, access to affordable renewable energy. Two, the high capacity factor in electrolysis plants. And three, a significant reduction in electrolyzer cost. And at this point, one of the major costs of electrolyzer is the catalyst materials. Currently, most of these are based on platinum group metals, PGMs, and the same situation for catalyst material used in fuel cells. Reviewing the state-of-the-art technologies available, we have found that Rhenium has already been recognized as a viable alternative to PGMs in new research findings, patents, and pilot studies. The reason Rhenium has emerged as an excellent alternative to PGMs is due to three significant factors. The sourcing is stable and sustainable. Compared to PGM, the cost is significantly less, and it has remarkable electrochemical properties. Let's take a closer look. In terms of sustainability, here are some of the main features. Rhenium is a byproduct of molybdenum ore processing, which in turn is a byproduct of copper extraction. So this gave us a metal recovery with minimum impact on the environment and pretty good production yields. A second feature is that Rhenium has a well-developed recycling industry, which accounts for roughly 20% of the global supply. This means we could achieve a circular economy plus a steady and secure Rhenium production. Next, Brandy, please. Now, going back to cost, electrolysis is the only source of green hydrogen, and PGMs-based technologies, for instance, product exchange membranes, have unlocked hydrogen's versatility as an energy source. These are proven technologies and they are commercially available. However, these technologies have between 30 to 60 grams of platinum, which represent more or less 41% of the system cost. But here is the good news. The price of Rhenium is about 40 times less than the platinum price. So if we work together, we could bring down one of the biggest barriers to electrolyzers and fuel cell commercialization and bring affordable and truly green hydrogen to the world. Now, over to Edgardo, who will give us an overview of the Rhenium electrocatalyst properties. Please, Edgardo.
Okay, thank you, Mario. So moving on to properties, Rhenium has good properties for metallurgical applications, like parts for very high temperature, and it's a corrosion-resistant material and has good catalytic properties. After screening many possible applications, we have decided to focus on green hydrogen. In recent years, there has been a lot of hype about it, but to produce green hydrogen, you need good quality catalysts. And if the industry only relies on platinum, devices using green hydrogen will be way too expensive, making it unlikely that we could replace black hydrogen. Rhenium's catalytic properties have been explored for multiple reactions, from reforming fossil fuels to biorefining and others. And currently, Rhenium is used in platinum Rhenium catalysts for production of high-octane fuel. Now, the scientific literature shows that Rhenium has promising properties for the catalysis for hydrogen evolution reaction and hydrogen oxidation reaction. The figure on the right displays the reaction rate for hydrogen evolution reaction for different metals versus their absorption energies. As you can see in the figure, Rhenium is very close to platinum in terms of rate of reaction, but it has a slightly higher overpotential. For Rhenium, the activity has been determined in the range of minus 2.9 and minus 4.2 in the logarithmic scale of the current density, which is in the vicinity of platinum. The electron deposition of rhenium suffers from a low Faraday efficiency and poor coating quality, and therefore pure metallic surfaces are difficult to produce, resulting in mixed surfaces of metallic rhenium and rhenium oxides. And for you as entrants in this contest, I would say one of the major challenges you will confront is to achieve a good surface, because with a uniform surface, you end up with values that are very close to platinum. So this is one of the key things to overcome in coming up with a competitive product. Next, please. Now, let me explain what we are expecting from this innovation contest. Obviously, as a major producer of rhenium, we want more researchers and developers to explore rhenium and start considering it as one of the alternatives to platinum group metals. And from the scientific evidence, we know that rhenium could be used in different parts of hydrogen production, or also when hydrogen is used as a fuel or as an ingredient in producing new fuel. All of these different approaches use catalytic materials, and we believe rhenium could replace, at least partially, the amount of PGMs needed and have better performance than other alternatives like iron-based catalysts. But in terms of this innovation contest, what we are looking for is a technology readiness level of 2 or above. This means you are close to producing an experimental proof of concept, but you need financial and technical support. And what we see as particularly relevant to developers is access to rhenium. And of course, Molymet can supply that. So to wrap up, our Open Innovation Challenge has a wide scope in the value chain of green hydrogen, but we are not interested in theoretical formulations without experimental evidence. Instead, we are interested in proposals that have completed the conceptual phase and are ready for small-scale trials and demonstrations. We have invited experts in the field to help us evaluate the proposals so you can be sure your project will receive the careful review it deserves. And we are looking forward to your proposal. So thank you very much, and I will now hand you over to Oliver, who will discuss more details of our challenge. Oliver.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Edgardo and Mario. So my name's Oliver Worsfold. I'm the program manager and coordinator for this challenge from NineSights' point of view, and will be your primary point of contact for this program. So to talk briefly about the success criteria, and building on what Edgardo has said, rhenium should form the key point of any device or material that you present in your proposal. And we are particularly interested in a demonstrable effect on performance or efficiency or service life or some form of quantitative characteristic. Additionally, what we'd like to see is in the proposal is the some sort of indication on the amount of rhenium required based on the current market size, and also some forms on the requirements for scale up to production processes. In terms of the success criteria, there is a lot more information which you can download from the challenge summary document, which will be all the documentation about the summary, about the proposal submission guidelines, and also about the judging panel, etc., and who will be doing the reviews, can be found on the website, which we will show at the end of this webinar. Next, please, Brandy. So in terms of your submissions, and this is one of the key points that we would like to emphasize today, is that your submission must be non-confidential, i.e. we are only looking for information that you are that you've either got, for instance, patent protection or is out in the public space, whether it's a paper or whether it's a conference presentation, or that you are comfortable will not contain any confidential information. In terms of submission, what we're looking for is a description of your proposed application and its technical feasibility. And Edgardo mentioned that we're looking for a TRL2. And if you want some more guidelines on that, then please reach out to either the PhD help desk or to me directly. We come on with contact details at the end. The overview of the proposed solution, including, as I said, some information on the TRL, the technical maturity of your approach. In terms of the business opportunity, this is a little more amorphous, we understand that, but what we're looking for is how does your proposed technology, how does this compare with the existing technologies in terms of the value that Rhenium will provide? And also some indication on your potential Rhenium consumption when you're looking into the future to scale it up. And we will come on to why this is of importance in a minute. So next slide, please, Brandy. As we said, we're talking a little bit about the business opportunity as well as the technical part of your proposal, and what we would like to see is some form of early stage development budget and Gantt chart. Now, we fully understand that this is obviously something that needs to be developed in consultation once we understand at what level your technology is and also what is required, and that will come in further discussions with the Molymet experts. In addition to the technical aspects, what we're looking for is some indication of past achievements, for instance, a case study, your development, your experiences, your expertise, and a list of references. And I would also emphasize that it would be one thing that will be very beneficial is that you could provide a brief summary of your key highlights from your references, particularly if it's based around papers. And then finally, just a short description of the team and a little bit of a bio about each of the team, the key team members. And then the submissions, as I said, we have some time. It's 20th of August. But one thing I would recommend is that you engage with the 9 Sigma team, either me directly or through our help desk, as soon as possible. We're here to assist you to provide help on both from a technical aspect and also from a process side of things. And just as a final emphasis here is that 9 Sigma's role here is to act as a little bit like a gatekeeper. So we're not involved in the final review, which will be done by the Molymet chosen panel. They will perform the final review of each of the proposals. We are here to guide you on how to submit a high quality proposal. And just to emphasize that, the closing date is the 20th of August. Next, please, Brandy. And the final thing to really discuss is probably one of the most important aspects is obviously the award. Now, the participants in this challenge will receive up to free $20,000 awards, cash prizes. This will be called the Molymet Innovation Award. In addition, Molymet will provide extra support, as Edgardo strongly hinted at, which is based around ongoing support around some free Rhenium samples, and this will obviously come in terms of a joint collaboration and further discussions with the award winners and any others who might have some high quality proposals. Molymet will provide expertise and support throughout the next steps, throughout the prototyping phase. They will also provide access to their very large supply chains, so you'll be able to work with everybody from material suppliers all the way up through to the final OEMs. And finally, if a commercial phase is reached, Molymet will put its best efforts to put up with a long-term and fixed price supply agreement, which is something that I think we should not underestimate the value of this over a long period of time. And if you have any questions related to the process, as I said, we will provide more detailed information via the challenge webpage. And now I'll hand back to Brandy, who will take us through to the next steps related to the FAQs.
Thank you for that information, Oliver, and thank you to Mario and Edgardo as well. It's now time for the frequently asked questions. These are questions that have already been asked via the 9 Sigma provider help desk or questions about Nine Sigma projects in general. So our first question will go to Oliver. What happens to my IP if I accept a prize?
Okay, this is a really good question, and something that obviously we get asked quite a fair bit. Now, one of the key business models here is that the exchange of information in this first phase is non-confidential. So in other words, you are not making any transfer of any IP that you have. This is a really important part of the T's and terms and conditions within the actual program. So if you have any, the catchphrase is, if you have any doubts, then leave it out. But by all means, please reach out to me, and I can guide you on what kind of information you can submit. As I emphasize, my involvement here is not as part of the review panel. So in terms of your IP, it is still yours, what is owned by you, and you will negotiate any of the next steps together with the Molymet team, which kind of leads us into that second question there, I notice, which is about who is the ultimate licensee of this technology. And that, in terms of the licensee, again, that really comes down to the final discussions between you and the Molymet team after suitable documentations in place, possibly NDAs or MTAs, etc. But that will come down to a normal business-to-business type of relationship.
Okay, thank you, Oliver. If I win the challenge award, what comes next? Mario, would you like to answer that one?
Sure, Randy. Yes. Then if you are a prize winner, then Molymet has 1 year to exercise the right to agree to collaborate with you. If Molymet does not exercise this right, or before the year is over, communicates to you its intention not to exercise this right, then you are free to develop your product with any third party of your choice. Also, I think I have to handle the question number 4. Can I collaborate with other researchers, entities to submit an entry for the challenge? And the answer will be yes. Either groups or individuals can work together, but for each entry, we only want one person to be designated as an official representative of a group. So, Randy,
okay,
that's all from my side. Yeah.
Excellent. Now we'll open up the session to questions from the audience. Please continue to submit your questions through your Q&A chat box. This is an excellent opportunity for you to pose your questions directly to our speakers. To open the questions box, if you haven't already, you first have to open your GoToWebinar control panel. The control panel appears in its closed state by default, and then it's just a small dark rectangle with 3 buttons on the right edge of your screen near the top. When you click the red button with the white arrow, your control panel will open and you will see the questions box as shown on the slide. We'll take the rest of our time today to answer your questions live. If we don't get to your question, don't worry. Our Q&A session is being archived and will be made available on the challenge page. So we have a few questions about our submission process. So Oliver, you are up. First of all, how long should my proposal be?
Okay. So the full guidelines, again, as I said, are contained within the actual contained within the website. And in fact, if you navigate to the website, you will see there is a form that you will need to complete in terms of responding to. And on that form, it's very directive about your requirements in each of the sections. In addition to that, on the documents, you can actually download the form as well, and you can actually start to do the response form offline and then complete it back online after you've done all the offline work. In terms of, so that's just sort of the process side of things. In terms of the actual size of the projects, what we the various different sections, what we recommend you do is you provide, from the technical approach, you provide 1 to 2 pages of A4 equivalent in terms of your technical approach and how you can meet the as an overview, a non-confidential overview of what your technology is and the current state, etc. Then there will be also some questions on there, very descriptive questions for you to fill in along the lines of what is the potential business opportunity, the development budget, and past achievements and references. But as I said, so in terms of the actual technical aspect, we recommend about 2 pages of A4 equivalent.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Oliver. You've actually covered the second question about the detail and information as well.
Okay.
So this could go to either Oliver or Mario. Are submissions from international companies being accepted?
So from a Nine Sigma point of view, absolutely, yes. So this is a global challenge, and as Mario intimated about you're more than welcome to come as a consortium or as a group, as long as you can provide the contact details, and any obviously ongoing discussions will be with that person and then the consortium. So international companies are very much encouraged. Mario, do you have any?
Go ahead.
Yes, Oliver, you have mentioned everything. We look through the list, and as I mentioned, we are looking for proposal for everywhere. So yes, the answer is yes.
Along those same lines, can an individual team be made up of researchers from different institutions and countries?
Again, the answer is absolutely yes. Some of the greatest innovation comes from different minds all working together on the same challenge. So absolutely, we would encourage everything from the single inventor all the way through to consortia of academics, all the way through to consortia of companies. We think that the opportunity for innovation around Rhenium here is enormous, and we're opening ourselves to you guys as the experts to come up with these fantastic ideas. So absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So we have a question about the TRL that you're expecting. The question says, in my opinion, this technology of Rhenium is in the beginning, TRL2 technology concept formulated, but can you explain for this project, what do you understand as TRL2 and 3? That's a question for Edgardo or Mario, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Brandy. Yes, we took as a reference the traditional scale from NASA. So we understand that a TRL2 is when you have already developed the concept of the development. You have already finished the theoretical study. You have a good understanding of the principles, the chemical and physical principles behind the behavior, or you understand well the science that makes your device or your material performs in a certain way. And a TRL3 then will be a steps in which you need to develop a small scale proof of concept, which is not a fully developed prototype, right? It's a small scale laboratory bench demonstration, but it's working. So we are really interested in having experimental evidence, and we want to help those projects that are in this difficult stage in which you need to use a lot of material to have your proof of concept, and that's why we are pointing to TRL2 or above. We will be very happy if someone came with a more mature development, but we are also interested in those of you that are in need of a technical and financial assistance for complete that phase. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our next question. We have technology and equipment to make pure 99.99% rhenium slabs and ingot. Is it possible to find cooperation with people who use rhenium?
Okay, Randy, I will take this. If they can achieve such kind of quality of bars and ingots, and they are looking for a supplier, of course, we can collaborate with them to achieve such kind of quality. We also are working in developing different rhenium products to achieve not only pure metals, also we are working with physical properties of rhenium. So we are open to work with someone who is looking for a high quality rhenium. Thank you, Randy.
Okay, thank you. And another question for the Molymet team. Would you share the main hindrances to the use of rhenium as a catalyst for dehydrogenation?
Yeah, I think I can comment on that. We are not expert in the catalytic material itself, so the field of electrocatalysis is not our field of expertise. So what we show in this presentation is review of literature that we found interesting in which the use of rhenium as being a rhenium metal, rhenium oxides, or rhenium sulfides also have demonstrated a good performance. As I mentioned during the presentation, one of the difficulties would be to have a uniform, I mean a homogeneous surface, because the different rhenium compounds have different behaviors in the electrocatalysis process. So we think that one of the major challenges is to have either a pure metallic surface or a pure oxide or a good quality rhenium sulfide surface to act as is suspected. I don't know if that answered the question.
I think that was an excellent answer. Thank you. So another question for the Molymet team, how big is the rhenium world market? And if rhenium could be used in green hydrogen, what would the larger impact be?
Okay, thank you, Randy. This is a great question. The global rhenium demand is about 100 tons per year. And considering the excellent catalytic properties that rhenium has, we believe that by 2030, it will be possible to replace around 25% of the platinum and iridium volumes currently used in both electrolyzers and hydrogen fuel cells, which is equivalent to roughly 10 tons of rhenium per year. Let me see here. Yes, and about how it could be impacted. With a few exceptions, rhenium historical prices has been very stable, mainly triggered by the engine manufacturer business model, which is fixed price, long-term agreement. In addition, we would like to mention that new potential demand should not have a relevant impact on rhenium prices based on today's potential production and installed capacity. Randy, back to you.
Thank you. And we do have another question for you, Mario. Why is Molymet promoting rhenium when there is an abundant supply of metals like iron, titanium, and nickel that have also shown good performance?
Thank you, Randy. But I think it's a It's a good question for Edgardo. Even though Edgardo?
Yeah, okay, yes, thank you, Mario. Yeah, it's a good question, I think, because you know, Rhenium has this fame of being very scarce and expensive, but we are aware that there are many projects working on PGM-free catalysts, and we have found that they are mainly based on iron and nickel in some cases. And of course, iron is very cheap compared to other metals, but the evidence we have collected up to now is that these materials have lower reaction rates and they degrade very quickly, so they do not have a long active life. In contrast, we believe Rhenium could be an excellent alternative to platinum, not only because the data that is the scientific data that is available show a high performance, but also, as Mario mentioned before, Rhenium only costs a fraction of platinum, and we also can offer a sustainable sourcing of Rhenium. So we are very confident on that Rhenium could be used because it has better performance than the other alternative materials. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We have a couple more technology-based questions. We have the technology for melting rhenium and its alloys, but we don't have technology of hydrogen production. Can we find partners who will be interested in our opportunities as collaboration with a hydrogen manufacturing company?
Yeah, maybe I can take that one. I think I hope you guys that made that question found right here in the audience the partners from Molymet side. We will be very happy if a certain type of collaborations arise from this challenge. I think it would be very interesting to have a good and reliable supplier of good quality Rhenium parts for the development of hydrogen catalysis devices.
All right, thank you. And just a reminder that we are still accepting questions from our audience. We'll be wrapping up in about 10 minutes or so. So if you have a question, now is a great time to enter it. And our next question is about clarification of the TRL level. They've written, you are looking for us to show you that you have already done experiments on fuel cells with rhenium-based catalysts. What if we have a novel concept demonstrated, for example, with copper, but we wanted to transfer it to rhenium and we have solid theoretical reasons to believe why this would work?
Yeah, I think it would be very interesting to know that development. And the important thing for us is that in these few weeks ahead that you have to submit your proposals, you can make some sort of experiments that shows not only the theoretical arguments for why your approach will work with Rhenium, but hopefully some a good and reliable experimental data. Of course, if you have already gone through all the stages with copper, I think it would be not so difficult for you to have at least a few experiments to include it in the proposal.
Okay, thank you. We have a couple more questions for the Molymet team about what happens after the submission and winners are chosen. One question says, we are planning to spend 15 to 20% of the budget granted for travel expenses. Is that possible?
Yes, that is possible. You are granted by a price, and you can use that price wherever you want. The more important here is not the it's also about the challenge award, but it's more about what's come next. And as it was mentioned, what's come next is for the winners is try to exercise and go for a collaboration agreement. That is the truly and realistic award that we are looking for. It's not just about the price. So you can use the award wherever you want.
Okay, thank you. And along those lines, if I secured the prize, can I register it to my institution fund or grant management system to help me monitor my transaction?
Yeah, I think this is probably so from the competition point of view, how you manage that fund is defined in the T's and C's, but you have quite a lot of freedom, as Mario just intimated as well, around. So if you need to tag it to your own internal grant-based systems, then sure, there should be no reason why that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is a little more fun. Do you plan to host a face-to-face award ceremony?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it will mean that the pandemic is over.
yeah. I mean, I think everybody would love to have a great party. Sorry, not party, to have a face-to-face ceremony, but we have to consider the wider picture as well. From a Nine Sigma point of view, this is something we have done pre-pandemic. We've been really encouraging of this, and you can see some of these examples on our website. And certainly this would be something we would love to be able to do and organize with the Molymet team. The very least we would do is do a video of any ceremonies, but in terms of the face-to-face, we'll obviously have to be guided by the wider considerations.
Okay, thank you. And our next question, is this challenge a one-off, or will you have a Rhenium challenge every year or just in subsequent years?
I think that will be depend of this experience. What we are trying here is try to boost Rhenium in green hydrogen. But this challenge and this initiative is below a program, the market development program. So if we need in the future to run another challenge to boost another initiative, it could be possible, but it's something that we don't have budgeted yet. Anyway, we could also add that the exercise and how has been the approach and the networking get so far is amazing, and probably we will repeat this experience.
Okay, thank you.
And just to add, sorry, just to add a little bit to that, from the proposal point of view. So whilst there will be the very, we will obviously advertise the winners. Please bear in mind that even though you might not be one of the initial winners, Molymet, the expert teams within Molymet, will have access to your proposals. So it might be that further down the line there might be some interactions after the project has finished.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Oliver. Thank you. And I'd also like to bring attention for our participants to the fact that there is a challenge forum on the NineSights webpage, and that forum can be used to find potential partners or to interact with your fellow competitors. So we have just a couple more technical questions before we wrap up. For the Molymet team, can you say a little bit about the powder metallurgy processing of rhenium powder?
Yes. Well, generally speaking, powder metallurgy processes, it has to be done at very high temperatures. Usually, to produce full density part, you will need a first step of cold isostatic pressing of rhenium metal powders. Then you have to go through a sintering process under hydrogen atmosphere. You need to reach at least 60% of the solidus temperature. So you will need over 1600 or so Celsius degrees, even 2000 are reported in some articles. And for several hours, then you will have a almost full density part. And after that, if you want to go full density, or if you want to go through a specific shape, then you will have to be careful on the right mixture of working. Could be drawing or hammering maybe, or other type of working processes, and you have to combine it with suitable annealing steps, because rhenium works harder at ambient temperatures. So to have good quality parts is kind of needs a lot of experimentation. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We have a couple more process questions, and then we will wrap up. Is the technical consultation available upon award from Molymet limited to phone and email, or can it include material measurements and analysis expertise?
Well, we as Molymet can provide directly some support on analysis on the purity of the materials and some general guidelines on the properties of rhenium products. But as I said before, we are not expert in the field of electrocatalysis, or catalysis for that matter. So I think we will be happy to help you and on what we can help, but that will be more on the rhenium product side, on the rhenium properties side, more than on helping you at this stage on how to improve your development. After the contest, we are expecting that our network of experts that has worked with us in other projects, that are some of them are our clients and some of their partners in other projects, can help to boost the development of the proposals. I don't know, Mario, if you want to add something to that.
Yes, Ricardo. No, everything that we cannot achieve in terms of analysis, not only for our powder or materials, also for the material that we will develop, we will try to put the best of our effort to tap into our networking and use our relationship with customers in order to fulfill your request. So we are completely open to discuss and review how we could address your request. Thank you, Brandy.
All right, thank you everyone for that engaging Q&A session. We'll go ahead and stop there. As I stated previously, any questions not answered live will be available along with a recording of this webinar on the Molymet Rhenium Challenge page on NineSights following the webinar. So what can you do today? On your screen now is some final important information. You can see the web address for the Molymet Rhenium Challenge page on NineSights. It's www.ninesigma.com/s/Molymet Rhenium Challenge. Additionally, there's the email address and telephone number for the 9Sigma Provider Help Desk. If you have a question about this contest or just need assistance with your proposal, the Provider Help Desk is ready to help you. The email address is phd@ninesigma.com. The phone number is +1 216 295 4800 extension 3. A key piece of information is the deadline to submit. Please be sure to submit your proposal online prior to the deadline, Friday, August 20th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Eastern. We won't be able to accept proposals after that time. And that concludes our webinar today. One final reminder that this webinar was recorded and will be made available along with the Q&A transcript. Thank you to our speakers for their time and expertise. To our audience today, we appreciate your time and look forward to receiving your submissions. Have a great day.